What's up, guys? What's a typical day of flying for me? Well, let me just show you. I come out here almost every day and get set up. I set me up a chair and my drone and everything, get everything ready. I usually bring out an extra set of props, my 4 batteries. I have 4 good batteries I fly with, and some tools and a battery checker. I can get about between 2 to 2.5 to 3 minutes per battery of flight time, according to how hard I fly. So I'm usually only out here about 15 minutes at the most, and that's me setting up and everything. So I come out here twice a day. I come out here about 11 o'clock every day, and then I come out here somewhere between 4 and 5 o'clock in the evening. Fly again the exact same way, 4 packs through. And then I usually make 1 to 2 videos a day, which takes me about an hour, hour and a half usually to make a video. And that's my day of flying. And I know y'all guys are tired probably of seeing my yard. But I have several fields around here that I can go fly in, but it's a long walk to any of the fields around here. I mean, it's just a lot easier to come right out here, set up my chair, and fly in the front yard. I've got a nice front yard with a semi-field right here in my yard, so it's just nice to fly here. When I walk over to the fields, I'm usually so tired by the time I get there, I don't feel like flying. So every once in a while I go over and get some good footage from there, but most of the time it's going to be here. And I don't like to go off and fly at parks or nothing like that because of the rangers and park officials and stuff like that. I just don't even like to take no chances. I like to be left alone when I fly. So alright guys, let's rip a few packs and see what happens. What's up, guys? I've already recorded my flight footage for today and uploaded it. I forgot to add that other onto it, so let's just talk about my drone right quick. So far I ain't got nothing bad to say about this drone. I love it to death. I have run into a couple of problems. For one thing, this camera's got a 170-degree field of view, this Eagle, and it's fixed in there. It's so tight in there it won't move. So the only way to raise it is to raise this whole cage. This whole cage will raise up or down, which is great. But I've got it set right to where I fly at. Any higher and I go too fast and crash. This camera's only got a 120 field of view on it, and so the only way to make it any higher so I don't see the ground all the time is to raise it up, and then I fly too fast and crash. So I've got a 170-degree camera right there that's broke. I've crashed a few times and broke it. I reckon there's something wrong with the board in it. I contacted RunCam. They're going to send me a replacement board to go in it for free. That's great. RunCam's got great service, guys. And I didn't even have a receipt for it or anything. Or I've got this camera here. It's a little SQ12. But you see it's already on a pretty good angle too. So when I put it on top of the cage, it's pointing straight up to the sky. And it's got a really narrow field of view, so that camera won't work. This plug here, guys, this is the one that was on it. And let's see here, it was on this battery. You see I had to cut the wire the other day. I was doing some speed runs, and I've been trying to get some speed runs and record them so you could see how fast I'm going, because you guys just won't believe how fast this drone is. But my problem is, when I'm doing a speed run, I crash every single time before I land. Somehow or another I'll hit something or I'll crash, and this camera has got a problem with it that if you bump it too hard, it'll stop recording and lose the footage. So I have to be real careful when I land. So when I crash, I lose the footage, and so I just cannot get no speed footage for you. I've tried and tried. But when I was trying, when I came in and landed, I tried to unplug the battery from the drone and it wouldn't unplug. I've tried and tried to get this thing to unplug. I've used pliers, I've used vice grips. I just cannot get it to unplug. Undoubtedly it welded itself together. That thing draws so many amps to it when you full throttle. And I was full throttle for a long time. I made a run all the way across my property, down to the end of the road down there, and made a big circle, and all the way back up. And so it was probably a good half a minute at wide open throttle, and I reckon it just welded it together. I've never had that to happen with the XT60 before, but it can happen, I guess. So I ended up cutting the wire and unsoldering and putting new ends on them. This battery I got here, guys, I made a new battery. I burnt one of my other ones. I puffed it up. It wasn't that great a shape. This battery I love. It's pretty big, but it does the job great. Now what it is 2 Bugs 2 batteries like these. That's what I done. I took 2 Bugs 2 batteries. You see they got these little bitty wires on the end here, and they're only 20C rated. But I'm gonna tell you what, guys, when you put them together and solder them together and make a 4-cell battery out of it, and then you use real big wire that like comes off a 4S battery to make your own battery, it puts out some juice. I mean, I can get a good 2 to 2.5 minutes of me hard flying, and the battery will just be warm, and it'll be on about 15.4 volts, which is storage charge for me when I come in and land. So that's good, and that's even with these big powerful motors on there. So I got no complaints with that battery. That's what I'm probably going to do with that one, to make another one. These motors, guys, are awesome. If I had $45 extra, I would buy another set of these motors, because these is like $80 or $90 motors. These are the version 2. They got version 3 now. That's why this one store I found has got them on sale for $45, which is half price for a whole set. Damn, I'd love to have another set of these things, in case I break one of these. But the frame is awesome, guys. Any other frame I'd have done broke 3 or 4 times over. I have crashed this thing at almost full throttle so many times, it's not even funny. End over end, crashed it into trees, crashed it into limbs, crashed it into the concrete out there, crashed it into my house. I hit that little green top building, trailer that's hooked onto our house, right on the end of it. Flipped it all the way across that building, and at nearly full throttle. And it hit, then when it got off of that roof, it hit my house roof, flipped all, and you know I got a real steep roof. It flipped it all the way up that roof, over the top, down the other side, and hit the ground, and not a scratch on it. I was coming down the road this morning, wide open almost, and I reckon I was too low to the ground, and there's a big hill right there, you know, as I go around that tree. Well, I was too low, and I reckon the bank got between me and my signal, and I lost controller signal for a minute. And so when I went to make the turn, it didn't make the turn. It just kept going straight, and it just nosedived right into the concrete and flipped probably 20-25 yards up the road into the ditch. Knocked my camera loose, done all kind of, it lost the back to my camera, lost the memory card out of it, broke a battery strap, but it didn't hurt the drone at all, not at all. I mean, there's not a scratch on this puppy. I mean, it's done paid for itself, because I'd have done broke 3 or 4 other frames. Ain't no kidding. This, if you can save your money up and spend that $100 for one of these frames, you will not regret it, I promise you. Because I never would have believed that there could be that much difference in good carbon fiber from cheap carbon fiber, but they are. I crashed my other drone, just hit a tree limb now, not going near as fast as this drone will go, and broke an arm the other day. And this one I've done, you know, I've done put this drone here through hell, and it's tough as nails, guys. I mean, it's worth the money. It really is. It's done paid for itself. No longer than I've had it. And it just flies so good. That top mount battery, I'll never go back to mounting my battery underneath if I can help it. It makes a world of difference. I'm still running my 30 amp ESCs on there that I took off my other drone. I just hadn't seen no point in replacing them yet. It's doing so good. Here's my 70 amp ESCs. They're still brand new. I'm just going to save them, put them back on there when I have to, in case I ever burn one of these out or something. I thought I did the other day. I was coming down the road and I crashed. I hit a vine. There's a vine hanging down my road there, and I hit it, and it fell right into a big mud hole, and just tumbled through the mud hole and out of it. And when I went over and picked it up, I tried arming it, and all the motors would just twitch like that. They wouldn't spin. So I figured I'd smoke some ESCs or something, and so I brought it in the house and untaped them, and I used a blow dryer and blow dried the whole thing off. Probably what happened was it got water on the Velcro in there, I don't know. But anyway, I blow dried it dry for about 15 to 20 minutes, taped it back up, plugged the battery in, worked fine. So I ain't had no more trouble out of it since. It was just that one time deal, and that was just because I got it into the water. So I was real happy with that. These motors, guys, these motors are awesome. I love them to death. What I like mainly about them is they're 2207, 2600 kV motors. Now, like I say, I got them for $45 on sale. They're half price for the whole set. And they're just powerful, guys. And they got so many RPMs to the motor that I can use any prop. Like on my 2205 Emax motors, just on a 4S, if I try to run like a 5x4 prop, I just don't have the lift I need for the flying that I like to do, to be able to punch out over trees and stuff. But with these motors, I don't know what it is. I guess it's they just got so much more power and RPMs that I can run any prop I have on this drone, and it just flies amazing. Now, these props do work the best for any drone that I've used so far, and they're the HQ. Let's see here. They're the HQ 5x5x3 version 1. These props are very durable. I mean, you can crash and crash and crash. They last forever before you have to replace them. And they've got a perfect balance between power and speed. And they're not too hard on your battery. I can get a lot, like I say, about 2.5 minutes of good flight time. Still have plenty of power and plenty of speed. Now I can put a 5x4 prop on here, and it slows me down some. I still have good control and enough speed to pop out over trees and stuff. Or I can put those real high pitch props on there, or some bullnose props, and I got all kind of power and speed, way more than I can handle actually. But you only get about 1.5 minutes flight time to a minute, and it'll smoke your battery if you ain't careful. Only other thing I got to say about these motors is they're so damn high RPM. I reckon with the normal cheap prop, like any of your normal 5x4 props, I've done exploded so many I can't even count. And I ain't talking about just breaking a prop off, arm off the prop. I'm talking about the damn prop exploding in midair. I've unscrewed. For some reason, these want to unscrew. I guess because all the motors turn the same way. Not turn the same way. Well, they do, but the prop nuts screw on the same way. But you don't even have to hit anything. Just from the raw power of you doing punch outs over trees, it'll actually unscrew these prop nuts sometimes, and your props will come off, or they'll get loose. But I've actually had props, several of them, to just explode in midair. The prop nut will still be on it, and the prop's just gone, and I didn't hit anything. It just disintegrates. But now these props are durable, and they don't do that. This is my favorite prop right here. And you can even get these all bent out of shape, and it seems like they still do really good, and you don't get no vibration. I just can't found nothing no better than these. And let's see, guys, another tip on these batteries. I have found several batteries now that is very hard to solder to. The little tabs in there, the solder just don't want to stick, and I don't know why. But the solder like I got from Banggood, it just, and that solder there, none of that solder seems to work. It just won't stick. But I found this old solder here in my daddy's shop. It's very, very old, and you can see that whatever is, it's got some kind of rosin core in the solder, and you can see it's been in no hot shop of ours for so long. It's got bubbles in it, where the rosin or whatever's in it. I really don't know what's in it. But this solder, this solder here makes real shiny. I'm talking about really shiny. When you're done, your joint will be just like a piece of glass that's so shiny, like chrome. And this will stick where nothing else will. So this is what I started using on the batteries. But you guys really wouldn't believe how fast this drone is. If you've got steep pitch props on it, and you got to have a good battery on it now, because otherwise it'll peter out, you know, and it'll get sag. If you got a good battery on it that don't sag, Lordy mercy. I mean, this thing, it's scary, guys. It really is. But I gotta say, anybody thinking about getting this frame, definitely get it. 100% definitely get it. Do not wait. You will not regret it, I promise you. Alright guys, I guess that's all I got. You guys take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one.